What's up, and welcome in to Under the Hood with me, Jonathan Hood. Thanks so much for downloading the podcast. We are presented by the fine folks over at the Illinois Department of Insurance. You know how Nikola Jokic and Trae Young can dish out that perfect assist right when it counts? That's what Get Covered Illinois does, the state's official health insurance marketplace. We need help finding coverage that fits your budget. They're ready for the perfect assist. They got hundreds of people whose job it is to help you for free. That includes insurance navigators at local nonprofits and certified brokers across the state. Find the help and the health insurance that you need at getcoveredillinois.gov. Again, getcoveredillinois.gov. They are here to help. And we're here to help you celebrate the Chicago Bears and their victory over the Minnesota Vikings by a score of 19-17. Let us go to lovely Madrid, Spain, where we find Cousin Wiley, and he is with us to talk about the Bears and the Vikings. 7-3, Cuzzo. The Bears win 19-17. How about that?
Let's fucking go. Yes. Yes. Just how we drew it up. Uh, Last second, heart attack performance by the Bears again. Got it done. 7-3 on to Pittsburgh. Let's go.
Yeah, please like, share, subscribe, and comment to this video as we talk to you about the Bears and their victory against the Minnesota Vikings 19-17. So just on the surface, Cuzzo, so it's great to be able to come back again and be able to win these games, because in the past, the Bears would lose these games and now they're winning. That's 5 comeback victories in 2 minutes or less for the Chicago Bears. It was 4 comeback wins, the most in 66 under 2. We'll got to find out what the record is for 5 comebacks, but it just shows resolve, if nothing else. Just before we get into the nuts and bolts of the game, it just shows resolve that you know that, hey, you're behind the ball game and something has to break through. It's got to be a defensive play. It's got to be the offense coming through. In this case, special teams comes through with Duvernay giving you great field position to set up Santos for the game winner for the Bears. So the resolve of someone being able to come through, it happened again on Sunday.
Cuzzo, this is a team that believes they can win every single game. When I saw there was about a minute left in the game, I said, we still have a shot. Even as a fan, like in years past, you give up a touchdown late, you're like, oh, fuck, game's over. Defense let us down. But there's a minute left. I'm like, we still got a shot. And then Duvernay, he's been on a milk carton the entire season, and he shows up when we needed him most. Huge return. Special teams won the game for us right here, and that was big. Like, we've been looking for a performance from Duvernay, and Cairo Santos bounced back from a early miss, and we find a way, Cuzzo. Like that is the theme of this season. Like, find a way, and the Chicago Bears are finding a way to win every single game, and we're 73 right now. I'm excited. I'm fired up.
I think we all should be excited about the Chicago Bears and that victory. The numbers inside for the Chicago Bears: 16 for 32, good for 193 yards for Caleb Williams. The running game, 140 yards total. DeAndre Swift with some hard runs, especially late to get the Bears in position. 21 carries, good for 90 yards. Caleb Williams with his legs, 26 yards on 4 carries. And the other thing too, Cuzzo, is that, again, we're talking about unsung heroes, right? It's not just one person, not just one unit. When you win like this, there's various aspects of the team that can help you win. So here's Cole Kmet, who was hurt before, comes back with a vengeance, gives you 5 receptions, good for 45 yards. He was targeted 5 times. And again, some hard runs there and, being able to get to the first down. Roma Dunze, Colston Loveland, Luther Burden. Luther Burden has a drop. Same drive comes back and gives you a quality first down. And so it was once again a team effort for the Bears for them to push this over the top against the Vikings.
It really was. Like, the defense led the calls, and then they slipped up at the end. It happened, but they left us enough time, and we found a way to get a win. Cairo Santos redeemed himself from the earlier miss, and like, whatever Ben Johnson is doing, whatever his assistant coaches are doing, they have this team believing that we can win. And we saw the opposite last year. Whenever something bad happened, it just snowballed and we just crumbled under that pressure. So we have to start thinking playoffs. Not only playoffs, Cuzzo, we have to start thinking division winning the NFC North. And when the season started, I never thought the Bears had a shot at winning the North.
Mhm.
And right now, at 7-3, they're positioned well to not only make the playoffs, but possibly win the North. Like we talked about this last week. Um, if the Eagles handle business, we can be talking about a first place, sole possession first place Chicago Bears after 10 games. Now, if you polled even the biggest meatball fan, which I probably am, we would have never predicted the Bears to be in first place after the first 10 games of the season. No shot, but here we are. Great coaching, players believing, everybody doing something to support the cause. And that's what you need to win games. You need to have each unit doing something to support the cause. And that's what we have today. And that's what we've had all season.
I don't have the official numbers yet as we do this here on Sunday after the game, but I know it's seemingly that Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, was dialing up the blitz at least 60% of the time, maybe 70%. I don't have the official numbers, but there was pressure put on Caleb Williams, and it's interesting how he's flourishing in the pressure. There was an instant where he took 2 sacks in the series. One thing that I know in the winning for the Chicago Bears, like Caleb Williams holds the ball way too long. Way too long. Like, and I understand why he does that. He does that because he sees Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. He sees the top of this profession hold the ball as long as they do to be able to extend plays. And he's just mimicking what he sees. It's kind of like in the 80s where everybody wanted to dunk like Michael Jordan because Jordan did it. Same thing with Caleb Williams. However, Caleb is holding the ball way too long. And so you like that he's slippery, can get out of situations, but as the defense is more and more geared up for him, he's going to have to realize, hey, man, you got to play for another down. His coach told him that, but yet he still, gallops out of the way, runs for a first down, or tries to get the ball down the field. He got sacked a couple of times, but despite the blitzing of Brian Flores, the Bears were still able to survive offensively and win the football game.
And I'll give him a pass this year. Because he was.
You will give him a pass this year, yeah. Well, because he's learning, right?
Yeah. So, but he's right now, Cuzzo, he may be the most elusive quarterback in the NFL when it comes to getting out of trouble. Now, the other part, to your point, he has to find a way to start completing some of those passes prior to the trouble getting there, or even better yet, completing some of those passes on the run. And he used to excel at that, but for whatever reason now, he's been struggling with that. So he has to improve. And right now, they're winning. They're still winning games without the best of Caleb Williams. I don't think we've seen the best of Caleb Williams yet this year. He's had some quality games, but I don't think we've seen his best performance yet, and we're still winning. So, like, that is key to team building. You're surviving when your top player or one of your top players aren't performing at their best. And that's because you got a quality running game. That's because you have a defense that confusing and taking the ball away from a second-year quarterback with only 5 starts under his belt. And that's because you have a special teams who, when you needed them, they made a timely play, game-winning field goal by Santos. And it all starts, to me, at the top. It starts with you having a potentially great head coach who is pressing all the right buttons to get the team to win. What did you like most about the defense today, Cuzzo?
The penchant to be able to get back to business and getting interceptions. The takeaways was something that's big. They still lead the league in interceptions and takeaways. And so to see Kevin Byard being able to get back to what he is, I mean, he's a ball hawk. That guy should probably be a Pro Bowler this year just based on what he does there. And then Nashawn Wright, who I understand Nashawn Wright's not a great player, maybe not even a good player at this point in time, but because of the amount of injuries you've had, he's just part of the rotation. He's next man up. The way he was able to just climb the ladder up to be able to get the interception in the end zone, I'm like, yes, we've been waiting for something, right? And the young man can put that on his LinkedIn resume that in a big spot, he was able to go up and be able to get the interception. So I like that part of it on the back end for the secondary. As far as, late in the ball game, you know, when you need to get McCarthy on the ground, you saw those plays because it was just like there was just no pressure. And give the offensive line to the Vikings a lot of credit for being able to trying to hold up the defensive line for the Bears. But again, for me, it's the linebackers to the secondary that were making plays. The Bears defense broke in the fourth quarter, but I got to give them all the credit in the world. I've been on their ass a lot this year because they're quick to tell you that, we're fine, next man up. And Alexa execution was there at times this year. But for the three quarters, that's virtually a shutout. They give up 3 points in the first quarter and then nothing else after that. McCarthy was rattled. McCarthy hurt himself just like the defense hurt McCarthy, I think, in the same way. But I thought that the defense did a great job. They did what they could in the fourth quarter just to hang on. But, I think that that's a pretty good job by the defense. Unfortunately, the Bears didn't get enough of a pass rush on McCarthy because he did not get his jersey dirty. No sacks on the young McCarthy in the game.
And that's been a story most of the season. Like Sweat, had a sack like the last 4 games prior to today, but it was just one of those happenstance sacks. It wasn't because he was beating his man repeatedly. You bring in Booker off the IR, he's supposed to get pressure and passing downs, and he's just not getting there. Up front, they're just not able to get any pressure, so that forces Dennis Allen again. God bless Dennis Allen for what he's doing with this
Oh,
defense and
yes.
just hold
Here
it
we
together
go.
by. But he is he has to blitz a lot because the front four can't get any pressure. And when you're blitzing in already a thin secondary, there's probably going to be some holes there because you have the backup to the backup to the backup playing. And that's problematic. When Stevenson went out, you had McLeod come in. McLeod is probably like the fifth corner. You got your fifth corner starting now because your starting corners are out. So again, Dennis Allen is finding a way. No push from the front four. No secondary, no corners left that was there to start the season. But he's still finding a way to piece it together and put out a competent product. And because of that, again, the Bears are 7-3.
No question about it. And we are presented by Illinois Department of Insurance. We appreciate their support of what we do on the Kap and J-Hood Morning Show, weekday morning 6 to 9 on ESPN 1000 on the ESPN Chicago app. GetCoveredIllinois.gov is where you go. Go to the website. They support us. We support them. GetCoveredIllinois.gov is where you go. Please like, share, and subscribe and comment on our video. We are really expanding here on Under the Hood. So we appreciate your you just going over and hitting that like button and also just jumping in our conversation regarding the Bears and their victory against the Minnesota Vikings 19-17. Because so many times that we've seen the Bears would lose this football game, find a way to lose the ball game. Under Eberflus, definitely the Bears are losing the football game. But I'm just glad that there's unsung heroes on this team. And I'm just glad that it's not just a quarterback, it's not just a wide receiver, a linebacker, a defensive lineman. You have to be able to work together. DeAndre Swift, I want to give him his flowers because he didn't get in the end zone, but you talk about hard running, right? So combine the quick St. Francis sales math, that is was at 90 yards for DeAndre Swift and 23 for Kyle Monangai. Monangai got into the end zone for the touchdown. So, I love that you got 113 yards between the two. So that's a good day. Plus Caleb Williams with his 26 yards running the football as well. It was something that we talked about before this game, that it was important for you to establish the run, especially on the road. Keeps the crowd out of it. Also, you can dictate the clock. The Bears had long drives, Cuzzo, just taking their time, just picking apart a good Vikings defense. Man, that hats off to them. That, I'm telling you, my friends in the Twin Cities right now, they're like, fuck, like we're 4-6. We have, we're in the basement. The Bears are in first place today. At least a tie. We'll see what happens with the Lions game. But the point is, like, it's always others that can step up for the Bears. and to me, the running game was paramount. 140 total on the ground.
It, since the bye week, the running game is primarily responsible for the Bears being um, a 7-win team. They went into the bye week 2-2, and because of
Mhm.
the run game, they've been able to win 5 of their last 6. And I think it starts up front. It starts up front with the offensive line blocking, with Cole Kmet blocking, with Loveland blocking, and with the
Yep.
wide receivers blocking. And we saw on one drive, obviously Santos missed the field goal, but we saw DeAndre Swift put the team on his back and carry us down into field goal range. And that was huge when you can have your running back just put the offense on his back and just start grinding it out. Takes pressure off the quarterback, takes pressure off the play caller, and it gets the offensive line to attack instead of being back on their heels. So it was a great response from a touchdown by the Vikings to just pound the ball down their throats. So shout out to the enemy, shout out to the offensive line, and shout out to Ben Johnson for having the guts when I know he prefers to pass it, but when the run was working, he stuck with it, and that helped the Bears not only eat away the clock, but put the Bears in position to win the game. Even on the last drive, when they lost yards, it would have been so easy to just have Caleb step back and try to throw a pass to get a first down and get in better field goal range. He was like, nope, 3rd and long, we're still going to run the ball. I trust my running back. I trust my offensive line, and I trust my receivers to block well enough to get us the hard yards to make this field goal easier. And that's what they did.
Oh, Cuzzo, is there something in the playbook in which Tyson Bagent actually does catch a pass? He's out there twice, and I'm just kind of like, the Vikings defense knows he's not getting the ball. Now it could be one of the situations where Caleb hands off to Bagent and Bagent throws it, kind of as a little misdirection. But I thought a couple of plays a little too cute. Like like Durham Smythe is not a receiving tight end. He was out there, fumbled the football, didn't like that. It went right through his hands, incomplete. You got the backup to the backup to the backup running back, who I've been wondering, like, besides special teams, is Travis. What's the kid's name? The Travis Homer. It's like is Travis Homer? Yeah, like is he like what is that now? Okay, let's not put it in the hands of the playmakers. Like if I'm
Yeah,
DJ Moore, who also dropped a pass today, who was one reception good for 18 yards. I'm sure he's pissed about it, but he also dropped a pass. If I'm DJ Moore, I'm like, Travis Homer, how long I've been here blocking for y'all? I can't get more than 3 targets. It's just like a little too cute now. Let's put it in the hands of the playmakers. Don't F around so much that you're just costing a drive. Let's not do that.
so I agree somewhat, but not completely, because earlier, like a few games ago, Tyson Bagent caught a pass and then caught the lateral and threw it to Caleb for like 20 yards. So I guess
Okay.
that was one take. So he was going back, putting things on film, I guess, for other teams to look at. And it worked the first time because they saw him on the field and they just handed off quick 4 or 5 yards first down. The Homer run one should have been a personal foul face mask. He held Homer's face mask for about 10 seconds, Cuzzo, and the ref looking right at it, he's like pulling his hand and he's like, no foul. So like the flag should have been thrown on that, but yeah, I don't want him touching the ball at all. If it's not Monungai or Swift, give it to DJ Moore or some other wide receiver. Travis Homer, to me, should be a special teams player unless um, Swift and Monungai are out for the entire game. And even then, I want you to bring that kid up from the practice squad that played when Swift was injured. I don't want Homer to touch the ball at all. So that part I agree with. He shouldn't even be in the backfield at all, other than to block. Beyond that, he shouldn't. But Smythe, you get paid a lot of money. You're wide open. Catch the fucking ball. Catch the fucking ball. There's no excuse for that. Catch the fucking ball. And here's the thing, Cuzzo.
Yes.
If you catch the ball, they may throw it to you again. It's when you don't catch the ball, they're like, he's wide open, fuck him. Fuck him. We're not giving the ball. So I was disappointed in that, but I was excited to see touchdown Luther on the field a little bit more today. Um, so I can see they're starting to turn the page a little bit on Oz, which like that was going to happen. If not at the end of the season, it's going to happen eventually anyway. So, but he also has to hang on to the ball because I think we had 3 or 4 drops today that and DJ Moore almost dropped another one. So we got to do better in the catching the ball department because it's somewhat of an epidemic of drops on the team, and that can't happen if you're looking to one make the playoffs, possibly win the division, and make some noise in the playoffs if you
Because
get there.
as far as you'll get there. We mean if you're 7-3, if you fall off the table now, everybody should be fired. I mean, you're 7-3, bro. Like, come on now. Like, hold on. Do we need to open
Well,
up the? Do we need to open up schedule again? There you go. There's the schedule. Let's take a look now because now it's the Steelers. And by the way, Steelers look good. Aaron Rodgers is out of this ball game. So it was the backup that was put in there for the Steelers. Steelers, if I'm not mistaken, against the Bengals. Yeah, Steelers dominated the Bengals 34-12 in this contest. Rudolph was the quarterback in for Aaron Rodgers. So that should be interesting. That's the next matchup for the Bears. So take a look at that
yeah.
schedule. So tell me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more games. I mean, I'll tell you, Philadelphia will be tough on the road. You have something to prove against Green Bay in very short order. The Browns, you should be able to roll over them. Defensively, they're good, but the Bears should have a good enough offense to win at home. And then San Francisco and the Lions. So it gets tougher. But, I mean, do you see any pitfalls for the Bears moving forward here?
No, it's a really tough end to the season, but I think this is what the buildup has been for. And if we are to believe Ben Johnson, I have no reason to doubt him at all.
Yep.
He said this team will be playing better, playing their best when December rolls around. So I'm looking forward to the Bears' best. We've seen the good. We've seen the good get better. Now we're looking for their best um, at the stretch run of the season. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to Caleb consistently being the guy that we thought he was going to be when we drafted him number 1. And here's the reality of it too, because though it's not all Caleb. Um, I don't care if Caleb has 0 passing yards and the Bears win every game by 1 point. Just win the fucking game. Just win the
Yep.
fucking game.
Bears were a 3-point underdog going in this one. It was at 2.5 for a while. Then it got to 3 at game time, and the Bears still won 19-17 despite that. One point I'd like to point out regarding the Bears offensively on the Kyle Monangai touchdown. Caleb Williams, a great 6-yard run, almost tackled for a loss. And again, we just talked about how elusive he can be, how slippery he can be as he gets out of trouble, especially against that Vikings defense. Swift runs a little bit more for a first down. Burton coming through. Swift again with a run. The pitch to DJ Moore. I never thought that he'd be one of these guys you utilize in a tight spot, but they're trying to get him the ball and try to give him some touches. If it's not going to be in the slot or down the field, and I'm sure DJ Moore just wants to be the classic wide receiver, get back there and catch the ball. He had an opportunity for one. He dropped the ball. So they gave him the ball on 3rd and 3, gave him a nice pitch for a first down. Komet coming through, Loveland coming through. Caleb diving for the first down. First down and 10, Swift with a run, another run. Kyle Monangai on 3rd and 4 coming through. And then Monangai with that touchdown to make it 7-3 Bears in the second quarter. So it's just good to see the mixture there. And it's just multiple players that are helping the Bears be able to score and to be able to try to get points on the board. It was a struggle. It was a struggle at times, but look, the Bears won the ball game. I take nothing away from them. They just got to get better for the Steeler game.
No, I agree, and it's tough because like I want to give DJ Moore his flowers as well because we're talking about a kid who is dealing with groin injuries,
Mm-hmm.
back injuries, shoulder injuries and probably something we're not even aware of. Um, and he's going out there, duct taping himself together and gutting it out. So I just want to give him his flowers for that because we need him on
Well,
the field. And
I mean, for the stuff that we don't know he's dealing with, he can get shots for that. That's all right. It's always
I
good
don't
medicine
know,
for that.
Cuzzo, his, his testicles got twisted earlier this season. Um, you,
What?
you know, yeah, that's why he couldn't get on a plane after one of the games. Like his testicles got twisted.
Oh,
Um, yeah, like you can imagine how painful that is, and he still played the rest of the game in that condition. So like the kid is tough. He's tough. So and we're still going to need him. We're going to need him to produce at the end of the season, and we're getting about to get healthy real soon on defense, Cuzzo. We got Gordon coming back soon. We got Jalen Johnson out there practicing. Um, Dennis Allen's going to get some weapons. He's going to get some reinforcements just in time, just in time for Christmas. So he must have been he must have been a good kid this year because Santa's going to deliver for him.
yeah, to get healthy players on the back end defensively, that helps while you're winning. These are just the additions that you did not have throughout the season, and you didn't really make wholesale changes when it came to the trade deadline. So now you're getting like new, fresh pieces. Hopefully, they'll be productive. As we mentioned at the beginning of our podcast, Cuzzo is in Madrid, Spain, and he was able to witness one of the great games in the National Football League, Miami against Washington. It's surprisingly that he's even awake after being there to be able to see that barn burner, the early game on Sunday. Cuzzo, first of all, I want to know about the experience. Since you were able, never mind about the game because the game was the shits. I understand that, but as far as the atmosphere and how the people in Spain may not always understand every nuance of football, what was the experience like being there in the stadium?
So first, um, here's a gripe, a major gripe. Uh, whatever they did to control the crowds and get people into the stadium, they should never do it again, Cuzzo. It was by far the worst experience that I've ever been a part of when it comes to getting into a stadium, whether it be for a game or concert. Cuzzo, got there a couple hours early, got in line a couple hours early, cut the line, because it's what we do.
Chicago.
Cut the line.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get in until 5 minutes after the first quarter started. 5 minutes
What?
after the first, yes, there were still people in line just wrapped around blocks. Like it was beyond awful. It like security measures were beyond necessary and only had 2 points of entry into the stadium. 2 points of entry. So you're looking to squeeze in tens of thousands of fans from 2 points. It wasn't working. It wasn't working, and it never got better. So beyond that, the fans were unbelievable. Like you got so many people who are into football. I was talking to a guy. He started watching football in 2013. They uh, they play fantasy football. So he was telling me one of his friends lost uh, his fantasy league last year. So as part of losing the finishing last place in the fantasy league, they had him at the game in a dress. They had this poor guy in a game in a dress and buying beers for everyone. So he's bringing them beers in a dress. It's hilarious. So the fans were great, even though many of them had on knockoff jerseys. But I'm not. I'm not. Who am I to judge?
Right.
But the atmosphere was unbelievable. So the NFL is doing a really good job with that as far as expanding their brand. Because like I talked to someone else, they had been to uh, the game in Munich. They go to games in London, so they people are going to the games throughout Europe, and I think that's huge for the globalization of the league. So shout out to the NFL, but I'm going to criticize Madrid for their security measures for putting on, bringing in, controlling the crowd, even leaving the game, Cuzzo, even leaving the game. It was, you know, I was afraid someone was going to get trampled. I was afraid we was going to get what was that club downtown? Was
Two,
it
is it?
E2? Yeah, like
Yeah.
where I was afraid that was going to happen because it started raining and there were thousands of people trying to get out and get into a spot to catch an Uber because you couldn't catch an Uber. You had to walk about a mile because the police had blocked off all the roads around the stadium. So you had to walk a mile to even get to a point to catch an Uber. So yeah, the security measures were a little. I understand you want to protect the fans. Understand you want to, you know, ensure the NFL brings the game back to Madrid, so you don't want any security incidents. But they could have done a better job with it.
That's awful. That sounds like an awful experience actually, because what you want is to be able to have all the creature comforts of, exactly knowing where to park, or if you're taking the kind of transportation they have, the Uber or the Lyft, and be able to be let out somewhere, but walking a mile to be able to do that is brutal. That's brutal.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. Game really good. I mean, not the game.
What?
I mean, it's it's the Commanders and the Dolphins. So the game wasn't really. It was what you expect from the Commanders and Dolphins this year, at least the Commanders this season. So like that wasn't good. But like the atmosphere, the fans were into it. They started to wave because of like 20 times, and it got about halfway through the stadium, and they started booing the sections that were killing it. They would start up again, and then if the section killed it again, they would boo. So the fans were so into the atmosphere that I don't even think they really cared much about the product on the field.
Well, you can understand because, oh boy, yeah, that looks like they're interfering there on the old microphone. If you hear that, they're not happy about what you're saying. Hold on a second. One thing for sure is that I'd be doing the wave too if I had to sit and watch 2, 3, and 7 teams and watch Marcus Mariota play football again. That'd be pretty awful. That's for sure. Oh
Can
boy,
you hear me now?
no, that is the government that's not happy about what you had to say there. You could hear the static of what's happening right there. Well, that's not good, Cuzzo. I hope that you're going to be safe there. So, do you have safety? Are you okay? Do you have the chair against the door?
Not so if you can't hear me, I can't hear you either.
No, I'm just asking. Do you have the chair against the door? Yeah. See. This is what's happened, folks. Let me just tell you what happened. Cousin Wiley did was a step too far. That's what happened. He went a bridge too far, going after the good people of Madrid, Spain, and now they've cut his line. So, because we don't know why Cousin Wiley is there outside of this game, there's no way that we as a family can help him. So, I think that he's going to be staying there for a while in the fine city of Madrid until he apologizes for what he said about people in Spain. Look at him; he's so frustrated. He knows what he did because there's a bridge too far. You went too far against the people of Madrid.
So I probably did. I'm not sure if you can hear me. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, you're
Okay.
fine.
Okay. So I'm not going to blame it on the fine folks in Madrid.
Yeah,
I'm going to blame
yeah.
it on my incompetence. So here's what happened, Cuzzo.
Okay.
If I was a professional like you, who's skilled at this craft of, then I would have been prepared for what I just did. So I had an earpiece in my ear, but only brought one with me. So the second one isn't with me. So if it was with me, I would have this one died. So when this one died, I would have just went to the second one seamlessly and just put it in my ear. But you couldn't hear me because my earpiece died. So now the phone is picking it up now. So you're hearing me through the regular receiver speaker.
I see.
So we're doing this like this is 1985,
Okay.
instead of 2005. So
okay. Well,
my apologies.
so always good to be prepared. As long as it's your headphones that are unalive and that you're still
Yes,
alive, that's good. That's a good thing. That's what the kids say. Got to make sure that your headphones are not unalive. It's very that's very important.
that is, and I mean, I love Madrid. Madrid has been very good to me.
Uh huh.
Um, Very good to me.
Very good.
And yeah, like I said, the fans and the people here are great. It was more of the security measures for the game that I think they can do better next time, and I think they will. So great stadium, great location. Like they put on a first class product, put out a first class product. Like I said, it was just security measures were probably a little bit over the top. So beyond that, it was first class, or as you would say, it was top shelf the entire way.
Okay, Cuzzo, it's time for you for your platform, because you know the next game is the Bears against the Steelers. So please tell everybody how the Bears will be able to defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday.
All right, so gather around, boys and girls. I'm not sure if Karen Rodgers is going to be available next Sunday or not, or we're going to get Rudolph, the water gun backup quarterback to play. But either way, we're going to go into this game looking to put our foot on the Steelers' throats and possibly end Aaron Rodgers' Hall of Fame career and get the title back to our team. Bears win 27-20. Bear down.
Giving the Steelers a little credit there. You're giving them some points. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, this is more of a Tomlin thing. You know, like I believe in Tomlin, you know, the brother. So I think he's going to do enough and prepare them enough where, you know, it's going to be a competitive game. But I'm looking for the Bears to get a big win at home and go 8-3. Go 8-3 before you start to face like beyond the toughest part of the schedule, which is obviously the Eagles, the Packers, and then the Lions again. So yeah, let's get to 8-3. You're at home. Soldier Field is going to be rocking because we, as a fan base, you may not have an issue with Tomlin, but we hate Karen Rodgers. We hate them with a passion. So we want to get a win. So I'm looking forward to it.
And I'm looking forward to you coming back stateside when you are ready to come back. After watching Miami and Washington, you probably should come back stateside after that nonsense that you were able to watch. That is a bad representation of the league. 2, 3, and 7 teams there. 2 against Marcus Mariota. Yeah, that's just that doesn't get it done. So you probably should come back and watch, you know, good football in Chicago.
Absolutely.
What are you doing next, Cuzzo? Like after this, what time is it there as we record this? Is 11 o'clock hour almost?
It is almost 11 o'clock. It's 10:52 Madrid time. So I'm going to go to the bar and have a beverage, maybe 2, you know, and we'll see what happens from there.
You can still watch football like on your phone. Do they have it at the bar on the TV? Some of the other games?
No, they didn't. So I had to figure out a way to watch the game I wanted to watch. So they may have like a later game, but the later games may be too late for many of the places here. I'm not sure. Like I haven't been out to 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm not sure how long they'll go. But yeah, like I'll catch some football on my phone and then do it all again tomorrow.
I would imagine top shelf food there as well. I mean, you got to have some dinner while you're there.
Yeah. No complaints with the food. Really no complaints on anything beyond the security measures. Like that was my biggest gripe that I've had the entire time I've been here. So yeah, that's my biggest complaint. Just the security measures. Everything else has been top shelf.
One thing I do want to follow up on. You talked about you had to walk a mile to be able to get yourself an Uber. Like, could you schedule one on your phone, or did you have to ask for like the taxi? What did you have to do to get back to the hotel?
So no. So well, one, I saw the roads blocked in advance, so I knew I couldn't just get them to pull up to the stadium. But then
Yeah.
I was walking to see how far the roads were blocked.
Uh-huh.
And then the perimeter was pushed out. Like, what are they doing? Like, was there like some type of threat, and they're just doing this to protect, the stadium? But so I walked beyond the police barricade, and then I pressed the button for the Uber, and then they before they arrived, they said, "Please, sir, spread your cheeks." And then they
Oh wow! And you obliged, of course.
Well, I was feeling good. I was lubed already, so I was ready for what was
That's
coming.
all right. Well, folks, that'll be it for Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. As when we start talking about the cheeks, of course, you got to think about Get Covered, Illinois. That's right, folks. GetCoveredIllinois.gov. As Cousin Wiley is covered, and so you can be as well. GetCoveredIllinois.gov. That can help you right away. And part of a great service here. I'm sure proud to provide that commentary from one Cousin Wiley and his cheeks. Well, we'll see you next time, folks. Continue to support what we do on YouTube. The YouTube continues to grow because of you. YouTube.com and look for Jonathan Hood Show, the Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood podcast. Like, share, and subscribe, and also comment on what we've talked about today, including Wiley's cheeks. And also, if you go to YouTube, we have a playlist of all the episodes of the J-Hood and Cousin Wiley show and so many other features that we have. So make sure that you check in on that playlist on YouTube as well. And for those of you listening on the podcast, hey, thanks so much for checking out the podcast as well. For Cousin Wiley from Madrid, Spain, this is Jonathan Hood. Thanks so much for checking out Under the Hood with Jonathan Hood. All right, Rocky, come on in. Rocky? Rocky? You didn't bring Rocky to the trip? Rocky? No?
No Rocky.
Where's Rocky at? Rocky, he's got to do the end of the show. He's got to come in. Why don't you let him travel with you?
Rocky had to be boarded. So he's with the fine family until I return. So yeah, he's in the house with a bunch of dogs and cats. I swear to you, but they do quality work, so no complaints. And he's probably, I don't know, he may not want to come back when I arrive. Like, they give me the best treats and
He's gonna want to come back. He wants that freedom of that home of yours to be able to roam around in that big estate of yours. That's what he wants. Be watching football. That's what he wants. Watch some sports, just like the rest of us. All right. Thanks so much for checking out Under the Hood with Jonathan. Despite Rocky not being here, we got a chance to talk about the Bears. What do you think of the Bears as they are now 7-3 on the season? So long, everybody.